We've got some questions.
We do have some email. Let's bring it on. This is a viewer who says, I really like the Bible, but sometimes I beat myself up for not reading it every day. I've never read it entirely, just the 4 Gospels, Paul's letters, and the 5 books of the Old Testament. Do you have any tips on how I should read and study the Bible?
Well, there's a systematic way and a devotional way, and right now I'm following most of the devotional way. I've done the systematic, where you look at a book and you say, who wrote it, to whom was it addressed, what was the issue involved, what were they trying to get across, you know, what are the lessons you can take from it and so forth, and you go through it systematically, and that's the way to do it. The other way is you're asking God for a rhema, a word where he speaks to you out of the Bible. And that way you can, as I believe John Wesley said, we sought the oracles of God, and God will speak to you specifically from things that you seem to be a little bit unrelated, and all of a sudden it jumps out at you. But you need to read Proverbs. You need to read the Psalms. I mean, they're just filled with rich devotional literature. And then, but don't beat yourself up. Well, I didn't read today, and therefore I've sinned. I mean, that, you know, God didn't put it there to make you unhappy. He put it there to, you know, thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. It builds us up. Okay.
This is Becca, who says, if you get really sick and you have an addiction, can God use the sickness to break your bad habit?
Oh, well, God can use anything, and the answer is yes, of course he can. I mean, can he use it? God can do anything. All right.
This is Zaru, who says, is predestination theology biblical?
Well, there's predestination and foreknowledge, and the theologians go a long way into trying to account. God knows everything, so he knows the end from the beginning. Does that mean he plans everything out? That's predestination. I think the Calvinists would say, yes, he's got it all planned. We do know that God has a plan. I think God has a plan for us. He has a plan for our nation. He has a plan for the world. And so that's predestination. Things were predestined, but at the same time, he doesn't take away free will. So the big theological issue has been all the way along is how much is free will and how much is God's sovereign grace. And anytime you go too far on either side, you're into heresy. So you need to have a tension between the two. You know, work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to do of his good pleasure. So those two are in tension, and that's the way to live. We leave you with today's Power Minute from Matthew 21. And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive.